It's time for a little Funky Friday. From their funky hidden headquarters, your hosts, Keith and Gerry.
Yeah. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Hey.
Hey, everybody.
Who's all here? Who's all here? Nobody's here. We got 5 people watching, probably all of us. Oh, man, it's Friday. What a day. What a week. Hope everybody's had a good week. It's been interesting, to say the least. I just finished watching today a little bit of Echo Base Network with Coach and a little Doomcock. And boy, oh boy, the things that happened. Because I watched it when it aired, when young lady that played Echo in the new series said MCU. She actually said it.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of confirming what we've all been saying. And even she admits to it on her interview. Kind of ridiculous. And then on top of that, NBC does an interview, and Coach talked about it this week on Echo Base Network. The Daisy Ridley was being interviewed on the Today Show, and they asked the question, Star Wars fans seem to be, anti-women being directors, and that's not the case at all. I don't know of any fans who are against women directors. It's just loaded questions that are meant to be talking points just for the shill people to go out and spread the bullet points. And it's all lies. It's an absolute lie. And Daisy Ridley called him on it. Said she's never run into that with the fans.
So basically, what she said was,
I couldn't hear it. What was that?
"Oh,
Yeah, I didn't hear it.
lies, deceptions."
Lies, deceptions. Okay. Yeah. You need to boost that one.
It's at maximum. So,
Yeah, you need to take it into an audio editor, increase the volume, and then use it, is what I'm saying. Dude, D. Bud Martin, I'm living on Theraflu.
You need a t-shirt of Theraflu.
I swear to God, man, it's the only thing that's got me going. And I don't feel sick. It's just congested, and I'm really tired today. I was tired earlier when we were doing the gaming stream. So good to see you, D-Bud. Good to see you. Don's here. We were talking about doing the anniversary episode today because, tomorrow is our 5th anniversary for launching the show. Keith and I did our very first video on January 27th of 2019. But nobody invited anybody. I mean, Loki is the only one that I know of that was invited by Anima. And Martin, you invited somebody? Who was it?
No, I'm sorry. I'm having malfunctions, organic malfunctions.
That does not compute.
Take a look at the private chat, please.
Don.
Oh, thank you. Happy Australia Day. Oh, wait, is Australia real?
Okay, so but
yes,
I basically said, because Keith was the one that brought it up about doing an anniversary thing, and I'm like, I just assumed everybody had invited people because I'm in the middle of doing a graphic novel and working on other stuff, and it's like, I come in and found out nobody's been invited, and I'm like, we're not doing an anniversary special when nobody's going to be there. It's just silly. It's just us celebrating. I mean, that's like, I don't know, doing your own birthday party all by yourself is dumb. That's weird. Nobody, it's like sitting alone with your little hat on and your cake and at a table all by yourself.
Don't say that. Don't say that. You never know who somebody's hearing us and he had done that. I'm feeling like shit now.
It's if they haven't faced reality. I don't know. I put it right up there with I went to see, what was that movie? Not Mr. Bean. It was Bill Murray's movie, The Man Who Knew Too Little. And I was going to do the review for it. So I got to go see it at the premiere weekend during a matinee for free, because, critics get to go for free. So I'm sitting there in the theater. I'm the only person in the fucking theater, and there's a funny scene, and I laughed at it. And there's nothing more weird than being in an empty theater laughing at a comedy. You're like, ha ha. Nobody else there. It's weird. Because laughter, especially with watching comedies, is really a communal thing. That shared moment. And that was weird. I didn't like that. When I go to see a movie, I want to have at least half packed theater. Especially.
Being a loner myself is not an issue for me.
Yeah, if you say so. Wait, cake doesn't count as company? No, it doesn't.
Maybe Coke do.
Steak does. A steak would count as company. I could sit with a steak and be just happy as a lark, but not cake. Team Pop Culture Minefield, hope you are well. I am getting there slowly. When we start to go into the second hour, I get to take some more Theraflu. So, yay. Yay me. Yay, I win. So, but I finished up some of my nutritional things today, like my krill oil. I finished that up today. My arlipoic acid. I'm out of that now.
Krill oil?
This is $13, and this little bottle is $15.
So you're consuming whale food?
Krill.
Yeah. Whale food.
It's
nice.
Specifically, krill oil is supposed to be the closest or the cleanest. The cleanest form of fatty acids, krill oil. And you get none of the nasty fishy aftertaste like you do with fish oil. Ugh. Nothing worse than that. Like I'll have like my breakfast and take my supplements. Half hour later, I'm burping fish, and I'm like, it's gross. But anyway, so NBC and Coach called it. He's like, these reporters, this journalist was told to say that. That's a talking point question. It's like she was given that line to read by somebody, and I'm going to bet it's somebody from Disney. And so Disney's just failing left and right. They're in financial trouble. What's that?
No, you're saying hello to Teague.
Oh, hey, Teague. So how did your I hope the Star Trek thing went well. I was busy working, so I didn't get a chance to go see it. Sharon Waxman from...
You speak Wookiee now?
What is this? Sharon Waxman, I just got an email from Sharon Waxman at the Wrap going 15 years ago today. They're celebrating at the Wrap. They launched. I don't care. I don't really respect the Wrap. So I only get them because they do have information I want, but they're another one of those shill bent publications. So, but anyway, the campaign is still slowly trickling at this point. I'm not pushing it, but I need to be doing more interviews. and I'm exhausted. And I was kind of hoping that I was going to get some more help from some of our friends to be getting on shows, but if I'm not pushing it, nobody's pushing it. So I'm like, I'm going to have to do it again. I'll get energized here in a few days. I just need to recuperate. So
You need some energy drinks.
yeah, doing what I'm doing can be really exhausting. It just leaves me completely drained. And I don't know. Doing graphic novels, these are long and tiring hours. Oh, man. Editing is the most consuming thing, and I get so frustrated by it. Because I should have been done with this script. I got to get it to Richard. And it's like every time I turn around, there's something coming up that I got to do. And so the script's not getting done. I've gone in there, I've gotten half the script edited. And it's a tedious, long process editing scripts. Because when you say editing, you're not just taking away, you're having to rewrite things when you go through the editing process. So I'm having to rewrite certain things. Like, I don't like the guy who co-wrote the script with me on that. I don't like most of his dialogue. It's terrible dialogue. It doesn't feel natural. And the words always have to sound like something somebody would say. And some people, it's like George Lucas, the complaint about George Lucas is, what's her name? Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford said it too. Mark Hamill said it. You can write these words, but you can't say them.
Oh, man.
They're really weird.
Harrison told that anecdote while giving George an award, a lifetime award.
Yeah. It's just... it's ridiculous. And so the writer that worked with me on that, he's one of them I had to let go because he just wasn't understanding what I was asking him to do. And I thought it was pretty obvious because, I give a roadmap. I'm a very, very clear person. Hey, War Monkey, how you doing? Andy Morales here too. What's up, buddy? I'm very clear with things, and I think that's why I like working with Richard, because I don't have to tell Richard how to do anything more than once. Like, I give him some simple direction and he just goes and he does it. He understands. But writers, they have so often they have their own presupposition of what they think is going on. And it's never what you're actually doing. And so it was very frustrating working with other writers that I just never worked with before. So I tend to not want to work with writers because of that. What you watching, Teague? I can hear something in the background.
William Shatner documentary. I got it turned off just in time. My finger slipped off the mouse pad. I was actually muting your show so I could watch it on the other monitor while I talk to you. Hello.
How dare you mute our show?
Well, I can hear it here. If I hear it twice, I'll go insane. I'll have to listen to myself.
Dare you? How dare you? What's up, buddy? How was your Star Trek stream?
Basically, I got through 2 of my 4 points. I'm going to go back on and hit it about 6:30 and finish up the rest of the rant. I still haven't gotten around to the Oscar nominations. I got to figure out V'ger versus Hal. And then, we'll talk a little bit about the movies from 1983 as compared to the movies we're nominating now. And we'll see what kind of difference we have. I think the 3 movies might be a bit more high quality. And hi, everybody.
Hi, Tig.
Hi, everybody.
Let me fix this.
Let's see. So, Coach was talking about NBC just flat out lied when they said what they said. It's a lie. There's not. I don't know anybody. And, we know a lot of people. I don't know anybody that doesn't want a female director or has a fucking problem with a female director. What they have a problem with is a specific female director because she's anti-masculine and made the stupid statement that she likes to make men uncomfortable. Why would you admit to wanting to make somebody uncomfortable? That's just
I'll
weird.
give her a pass because that was allegedly in context about a completely different culture. So as much as I hated seeing that, it made my skin crawl. It sounded really antisocial. From what I understand, though, that's the norm. She doesn't modulate. If she had been, where's the video of her from Germany saying, in this nation, it's not really necessary for me to be confrontational, or if I made an international movie, I'd make concessions to an international audience. We don't hear things like that. We hear extreme stuff, and we hear that she's going to go do what she wants.
Exactly, man. By the way, I was wanting to do a celebration of a friend of ours who just passed away.
Sorry.
Yeah, Torme. He was a writer on Next Generation. He was the creator of Sliders. And I was wanting to do a celebration of some of the work he did, and I thought I'd invite you to join me in on that. I'm not sure when we're going to do it. It might be a Thursday.
I'd be delighted. I love John Rhys Davis. He was the star of Sliders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Kari Wood.
One of the stars.
Well,
I used to watch that show sometimes.
He was the one with
right.
star power.
He was, him and the fat kid from Stand By Me.
Right. Yes.
The one that got, what's her name? Rebecca Romaine Stamos. Stole her from
right, because he
John Stamos.
John?
I've seen Strange New Worlds. He didn't do so great in the long term.
Gerry O'Connell, that's the dude. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, he lost a lot of weight.
Oh man, and look, I enjoy him as an actor. He did a comical Canadian detective series that he did 2 seasons of it, and then because of the coof, it disappeared.
Oh man,
and I was hoping he'd come back, but then he did the Love Boat show, reality show with his wife, and I'm like, yeah, we're probably never going to see that detective character again.
Did you see that?
He's a movie actor that takes his skills as a detective and his star power to open an agency to like do detective work. It was a silly show. It was silly, like even more silly than Monk. But I like Gerry O'Connell. I really do. But that was one of the meanest jokes I think I've ever heard, was at the roast of John Stamos. And the guy goes up there and he says, how does it feel to lose your wife to the fat kid from Stand By Me? I'm like, oh my God, he just said that right in front of him. And John Stamos was like, ha, 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 ha. When inside, he's like,
yeah, I mean, or he could sit down and watch Strange New Worlds and be like, this is as unrelated to Star Trek as that weird send-up of the Beach Boys I claim to be in.
Yeah.
Did you see the Gerry O'Connell movie, an HBO movie?
Oh, I know that's Stamos. That was who she left for him, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Joe's Apartment.
Yeah, Joe's Apartment. MTV made that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
love that movie.
Cockroaches. Yeah.
Yes.
Who's the star?
Gerry O'Connell.
Is it?
Yes.
Wow. Gerry O'Connell lives in the apartment with these roaches. So yeah, Gerry O'Connell.
We all do.
I don't think he'll always. I mean, there's a percentage of us that know he's the fat kid from Stand By Me, but the fact is he's built a good career, and probably people know him more for what he's done rather than what he did way back in like the 80s. But right. I like that kid.
Shannon Doherty.
He also got pranked by what's his name from 70s Show on his little prank show, and he was somebody that got pranked. Yeah, and he ended up being a really nice guy in there. And like in the prank, they were kind of wanting to see if he would show his ass, and he did. And he was like really nice. It's like, oh well, we'll help deal with this, and it kind of like backfired on Kutcher because he was such a nice guy. I enjoyed John Stamos as Jesse Katsopoulos in Full House. I barely watched that show. The only times I ever watched that show was I worked as a nurse in a nursing home back then, and one of my patients, I would take my break and I go hang out with her. She was cognitive, she was fully alert. She just had a stroke, and so she was lonely in there, and I go hang out with her. This old lady. And we'd watch that show. Full House was one of her favorite shows. And she ended up, sadly, she died from pneumonia. Pneumonia. Pneumonia is awful. kills so many of the elderly. He was the greatest killer of the elderly for centuries.
Yeah, it is. It's a very big cause of death to this day.
Mm-hmm. So, Punked. That was the show. I enjoyed it to a certain point, but I don't know. I got kind of tired of it. The whole pranking thing, because I was a terrible prankster, and I hit a point with all the pranks because my pranks were like, they weren't cheeky. They were vicious pranks that I would do to people.
Your pranks weren't meant to cause fun. Your pranks was a
They were meant to amuse me at the expense of somebody else, and it just some of the things I've done. And what's funny is I didn't just prank anybody. I wouldn't just like go out of my way to prank somebody. They would prank me, and then I'm like, okay, so it's on. All right.
Your pranks were retaliatory.
Very retaliatory. And it got to the point like Tom, my old roommate in college, he's like, I don't ever want to prank you again. I went, you're a smart man. Because his prank was elaborate. It was great. He had pulled this prank where he had disappeared for a couple of days, and then his girlfriend shows up and says he's been arrested. And I'm like, what? Yeah, he's arrested for drunk intoxication. And I'm like, Tom? And she's like, yes, we got to go down and bail him out. So she, Durkin, and there was one other person with us. I can't remember who it was. We get into the car and we go down to the police station. I give her some of the money because it was a pooling of money. I gave her my money, and she went into the jail, city police department, downtown Charleston. And she was in there for a few minutes and then comes walking out with him. And she gets into the middle front seat, and he's on the passenger seat in the front. And we start driving down the street, and I immediately start like big dad or big brother talk. Like, the fuck is wrong with you, man? Getting drunk, getting arrested? Why didn't you call me? I would have just come and got you. And then at one point he gets frustrated as we're starting to go into a turn. He says, I don't fucking need this, man. And he throws up in the passenger door and jumps out of the car while it's rolling. And I'm like, fuck. And I'm looking out the window, Tom, and he just disappears down a hill into the forestry. And we stop the car. I get out, can't find him. He's not responding to me, yelling for him. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to my girlfriend's house. So I go back. We go back to the apartment. I get into my car, drive out to my girlfriend's. And while I'm there, phone rings at her place. And it's for me. And it's his girlfriend again. And, Gerry, Tom just showed up in my dorm room. And he was acting really weird. And I'm like, okay. Can you put him on? Yeah. Tom, are you all right? Hey, man. Tom? Yeah, dude. Are you okay? Dude, I'm fucking great, man. You gonna get here? You coming to the party? I'm like, what party? What are you talking about, dude? Yeah, man, I wasn't really in jail. The money that you gave us paid for this party. We got a pony keg, and we got lots of snacks and shit. And I'm like, wait, what? And he goes, yeah, dude, it was all a prank. It was all a prank, man. April Fools, man. April Fools. So I went, are you serious? He goes, yeah, man. And then I can hear her giggling and laughing, going, join us, Gerry, get over here. And my eyes got really huge. And I went, fuck you. And I hung up the phone. I was so angry. And then I sat there, and as angry as I was, I'm like, that was a great fucking prank. Oh my fucking God. Everybody was in on it.
Hello, Penny.
I didn't know how to feel about that. I was like, I felt betrayed, but I was also amused, and impressed. I'm like, that was fucking good. So I knew I had to outdo him. And also I had to do something to make sure he never pranked me ever again. So we had a dog we shared. His name was Kurtz. He was a beautiful little dog. I love that dog. And some people say that's wrong what I did. I was drunk half the time. I was young. So I'm not going to let anybody sit in judgment of me. I don't care. It's something that I did. I trained that dog while he was away on break to piss and shit in his room. I started with newspapers and like a whole floor full of newspapers down to just one paper, then eventually no papers, and it would just pee and poop in there. And so he got back and he would take the dog for a walk. Dog wouldn't go to the bathroom, bring the dog back, and it would go right into his room in the corner and take a piss and a shit. This went on, and he got really frustrated. Like, why is this going on? Why does he keep pooping and peeing in my room? When April Fools. It was funny for me, but it wasn't funny for him. He was aggravated, and he never pranked me again. Never did. Terrible person. I know that. I've done some things. My favorite prank I ever played was on Mac, who's still one of my closest friends. And he would prank me. He would do these stupid pranks, and they just would annoy me. They weren't even funny. They were meant to annoy me. That's really why he would do them. But there was this one time, like when I moved in my first apartment, he moved in with me, and Zoe was there. Zoe had her room, and he had a room, and I had a room. And Zoe would go away, and on the alternating weekends to go visit grandma. Okay. And I hear this sound. There's a very distinct sound when a cotton blanket touches corrugated cardboard edge. There's a very distinct sound. And it woke me up, and I went, what's that? And I turned and looked, and there is Max standing there with a blanket. And all the box sound I heard was I hadn't unpacked all my boxes. And he ran into one of the boxes with the blanket. And it woke me up. And he's standing at the edge of my bed like Kilroy, the blanket, looking over the blanket at me. And I went, and I backed away from him, like, what the fuck are you doing? He goes, nothing. And he throws the blanket on me. Go back to sleep. He walks out of the room. Oh my God. I was like, what the fuck was it? And then I realized, he was going to blanket party me. He was going to throw the blanket over me and pummel the shit out of me and then run out of the room. And so I got into the habit of locking my fucking door at night.
Then he decided
when
you couldn't handle the truth when you asked him.
Yeah, code red. So we didn't call them, we called blanket parties. But anyway, so I'd never really, we considered, Ultra Rob and I considered really fucking with him one night because he would irritate us. He would just fucking irritate us. And Bankus and I came with this idea that we're going to wake him up one night with his greatest nightmare, doing zombies, because he was terrified of fucking zombies. He had night terrors over zombies. I shit you not. And we thought better not to do it because we figured, one, he's armed. He could shoot us. Two, we could really traumatize him. So we didn't do it. But my prank with him was we had carpeted floor in every room except for the bathroom and kitchen. It was ridiculous. This apartment in Springfield. It was 2004, right when we first moved to Springfield, Missouri. And I've got that carpeting on, and it's solid. There's no cuts in the carpet. It's just, I don't know how they did that. It's one big, huge cut in the apartment. And he had this 50-pound, 3-tier toolbox, heavy duty. This thing weighed really, I think when it's packed, almost 100 pounds. And he would put that against his door at night to keep me from getting in there to break him. And so it was always sitting right next to the door. So I went and I got some nylon rope, and I put it through the handle, brought it as close to the door as I could with one hand, and then shut the door. And underneath I had the rope looped through the handle, and I pulled until it was flush against the door. And then I pulled the rope out. And then I went in the living room and watched the movie. He comes home and he can't get in his door, his bedroom. And because this thing, it's just an anchor. It won't let him open the door. And I'm like, everything okay, Mac? And he goes, yeah, everything's fine. He's trying to figure this thing out, and he can't figure it out. Finally, he just leaves the apartment. And I'm like, where are you going? He goes, I got to take care of something. Okay. So he leaves. He had to go to the maintenance people and get a 3-story extension ladder to climb up to his window and hopefully be able to break into his window. And that's what he did. He broke into his window and climbed in. I could hear him shuffling the toolbox out of the way and opens the door, comes back out. And I said, everything good? And he goes, fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. He wasn't going to let me enjoy that at all, even though I so thoroughly did. I enjoyed pranks. Like one of my favorite pranks. We had this girl when I was a paramedic in the station house. She would keep her ferret. And so I took her ferret upstairs and everybody was playing with the ferret up in the TV room. And I had bought one of those realistic ferret stuffed animals that you sleep with. And I sprayed it with a mist from the sink and then put it in the freezer. And when I heard them calling to return back to the station, I ran downstairs with this thing and put it in the her crate. And we heard the scream. Which reached in and got this freezing cold stuffed ferret. For a moment, she thought it was her ferret was dead.
Come on, man, that's too much.
She heard the scream and then she goes, "You assholes!" And I'm like, "It wasn't assholes, it was me." That was fun. I liked it. I miss those days. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Anything interesting?
Oh, they're saying hello to each other. We have.
I'm curious. Like, what are some of you guys' best pranks that were pulled on you, or that you pulled on somebody else?
I could tell you, I worked in an office, and it was like kind of accounting based, and I hated it. And there's this person I work with who was a real dick. And they made it like even worse to go there because you have to go in there and just put a string of numbers in a computer all day. And you know what I mean? Like it's not the worst. It's not like being set on fire or something like that, but it's the worst. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a real drag. And at 9:05, you're like, how long till 5? And this person made that day go by slower. So I started to really dislike them. So what I did was first of all, I got their pager number back when we weren't supposed to give that to people, and just like had them paged by every service in the back of the Village Voice. But one day when they were out at lunch, I took a piece of cellophane tape and I wrapped it around one of the poles of the power supply of their computer and plugged it back in. And when they came back, their computer wouldn't turn on. And when they went to maintenance it, I switched out with another power supply and put it back. And like after like they brought it to maintenance, of course it turned on right away, right? So they bring it back to the guy's desk and they plug it in and it works. And they're like, "What's wrong with you?" And like intermittently for like weeks, I would switch the power supplies to the one that wouldn't work. So they thought that he just couldn't use computers. And they wouldn't help him anymore when he broke things.
That's funny.
You know what? No one bothered to check the power supply to see if there wasn't a piece of tape on one of the poles. No one thinks these things. I was like, what can I do that people will take for granted that will make this person, and so while they're getting all these incoming calls from everybody in the back of the Village Voice, and those were some crazy ads, like, "What? Who gave you my number?" They were also dealing with the fact that the people in IT were like, "You break everything we give you."
Yeah, I've said for years, like with Mac, I couldn't have anything nice because he would break it. I pissed him off one night. I said something snarky to him. He said something, he thought he was like quipping me with it, and I turned it around and snarked right back at him. And he got so angry, he threw a grapefruit in my head and missed me and broke an acrylic sword that was a gift to me from my bassist in my band.
Oh,
I'm like, "Motherfucker, you're why I can't have nice things. You break everything." But I was a notorious prankster. Like I went out and there's this plastic barrel. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's like a little round, clear drum that you'll find at counters. Sometimes there's candy or toys in it. And when I went up to the counter at Zodiac here in town, it's a tattoo place and head shop, and they sell really cool T-shirts and posters and shit. And that's why I would go there, because I love the posters. So I went there and I saw this drum on the counter. I'm like, what is that? And as I got closer, it was little erasers. They fit on the end of your pencil. And they were little cock and balls, little tiny penis, flesh-colored penis with balls. And I'm like, oh my God, that's fucking brilliant. And there's like, I don't know how many was in there. It was enough to fill up this drum. And I said, how much for the whole thing? And they said like $35. And I paid her $35. I'm rounding. I don't remember the exact amount, but it wasn't 40. It was under 40. And so I bought this whole thing, and I decided, what are you going to do with those? I said, oh, I have a plan. I know exactly what I'm going to do with these. And I tormented my boss's partner at the company I worked for. I just tormented him with them. I think my favorite one with him was when I took one of them and I glued it to the mouthpiece of his phone. So when he picked it up, it tickled his lips. This little penis. I would glue them to his keyboard on his computer. I would put them in his coffee. He'd have like 3 or 4 dicks in his coffee floating.
One of the meanest things I ever saw was with breakfast food, where someone got a Boston cream bagel, but someone managed to extract the Boston cream and replace it with mayonnaise.
Oh yeah.
Oh, disgusting.
Yeah, that is gross. That to me is
You're
like
not ready for that juxtaposition of tastes.
Yeah, I would. That's a prank I wouldn't do, because that's like a cardinal sin. You don't mess with Bavarian cream. You just don't do that.
Yeah,
that's wrong. Max steals stuff. That's true. I used to have this great Irish hat made in Ireland, Donegal, Ireland, wool. He stole it. He's got it. My actual army boonie cap, he stole. It's got my fucking rank pin on it and everything, and he fucking stole it. And what I say when he stole it is he wears it and then just never gives it back.
We all have a friend like that.
Yes, that's Mac. My friend Ultra Rob, God, I haven't seen him in so long now. He'll call me every once in a while, because we haven't gotten to hang out in a long time. Last time I saw him was when I was in the hospital last year. He came to visit me like multiple times. That's what real friends do. They visit you when you're at your worst. And
to see the Super Bowl together, which I'm going to do for my best friend. But yeah, stuff like that. You remember people who come through at times like that for sure.
And Ultra Rob, he was funny, man. And the whole thing behind his name is hilarious because, both he and Mac's first names are Robert. Robert Scott McCall, Robert Bankus. And we're out at the farmhouse. This is way, way back when Zoe was like a toddler. And I yelled, "Hey, Rob." And they both answered. And I was trying to get the other Rob, and so either way it goes, I got irritated with that. And I said, okay, from this day forward, I pointed at Bankus and I said, "You are Ultra Rob." And then I pointed at Mac and I said, "You are Basic Rob." And he got mad. He's like, "Why am I Basic Rob?" And I said, "Because you're short and you're bald." And it pissed him off even worse.
Oh, wow.
Short and you're bald. And so we call him Mac instead of Basic Rob. We just call him Mac. But every single time Ultra Rob gets called Ultra Rob in front of him, I know it irritates him. So it's still, everybody calls him Ultra Rob because of that nickname I gave him. And although it backfired on Ultra Rob one day, when we were sitting there and Zoe is looking at one of our beer cans, she goes, "What does it mean by ultra something on beer?" And Bankus goes, "Well, that just means that it was fully refined, like multi refined to the point where a lot of the everything's taken out of it, and it's just basically water with a little bit of alcohol." And I said, "Is that why we call you Ultra Rob?" And one of those great moments. Also,
I have the minimum legal amount of in me to be allowed to be called Rob.
exactly. But even his mother puts it on his birthday cake. Happy birthday, Ultra Rob. And Mac was standing there.
Proportion of the Robness.
Well, Mac saw that cake and with the Ultra Rob, and I could see the fire in his eyes. He was so irritated seeing it. And it made me so happy.
If the ultimate Rob is Rob Lowe, like they're all other Robs compete, right?
Low Rob. So, but anyway, oh, holy Christ. Well, I was kind of hoping Keith would make it, but he had a family emergency. So we're not going to be talking about really anything because that's his thing to talk about these things. It's like,
we still have the
on the Bilderberg Group network.
Okay, you're both talking, so I don't know what either of you are saying.
Go ahead, Martin. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry, man. Think if you, I would say that get your volume a little up because I have problem hearing you. So we can talk.
Yeah, I'm not gaming now, so you can turn it back up.
Yeah, we can talk about everything in our thumbnail. For example, that
you're in, right?
That
I hope I didn't do my show at that volume. That would have been bad.
Anthony Mackie losing his cool because of the disaster that is the production of his movie. They are shooting without scripts, and he feels outrightly pissed off. I would be.
I'm with Mackie. Come on, give the guy a script.
Yeah,
that's like telling us to build a house, and we're like, well, how many floors do you want? And like, you guys will know what's best. Like, wait, we have X amount of lumber. We know how to nail it together, but there's no architect or engineer among us. We're like, we're just like carpenters. We put things together according to a plan. Who made the plan? It's like, don't worry, the plan will be on the way Tuesday. Just have the house ready by Wednesday. So you wanted to get some stuff ready now. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? It's like, well, you're probably going to want a staircase. Well, what if it's a ranch house? We don't know. And then you're just trying. We've got a ranch house with a staircase. Like, that's basically what every Marvel movie is now. They put these set pieces together. I believe that scrapbooking rumor that Doomcock was reporting on, there's too much to it to not be credible. I believe there's some correctness to it, if not 100%. A lot.
Well, it's so typical for them, too, to be working without a script. So, a finished script. Because
the one they did blew up because it was so stupid. How much you want to bet he was foreseeing this and was like, I don't know, because they changed the subtitle of the movie, right?
Yeah,
it was called something even dumber.
New World Order.
There you go.
I just the Bucky,
yeah.
What is it? Winter Soldier, Falcon series had so many good things, and they screwed it up so badly because that ending, pointing your finger at the audience, is one of the worst things you can do if you want your show to be popular.
I was shocked during that whole ending because when Carly sets a bunch of people on fire, and then Carly goes down under this building's basement and wastes a few other people, and Falcon stands there and she shoots Sharon Carter a few times too. And Sharon's like laying there coughing, and Anthony Mackie doesn't go over to help her, and he's like, Carly, no, I can see the good in you. And I'm like, where?
Yeah.
It's like, this is the most irredeemable. I was like, next to Red Skull, this is the most irredeemable villain you've ever had. There's only one fate. There's only one kind of justice on screen for a character like this. They have to be given the villain's death or a Vader-like fate. Like, you can't let Carly. And he's like, I can see the good in you. You can't do this, Carly. Don't be like that. And then
I'm telling everybody else, don't call her a terrorist. She's a victim.
And then Sharon wakes up, coughs, pulls out her 9, gats down Carly, and passes out again, just so that we can't have a man take out a woman. We can't show that because words are violence, so he can't even be mean to her. And then instead of being upset, he doesn't run over to his friend who got shot, saving his life, the one who killed the biggest threat we've ever seen since Red Skull, as far as ruthlessness, just killed so many people. What did she say? The last thing she says to her gang: take them to the roof of the police station and set them all on fire. And like, she doesn't even laugh. I was like, this is like a gray area villain, really? It's like this. Wow. That's
Disney
like
has
the
its head up its ass.
Autobahn kind of a defense.
Well, Disney has its head up its ass. It really does, and it's creating just garbage. And people go going, well, there are these good things in there. It's like, look, man, maybe you want to rummage through a turd to look for something edible out of it. I'm not going to do that because it's a big steaming pile of shit, the whole thing. And I'm not going to rummage through it to find nuggets of good. There are other means of getting my entertainment than this piece of shit. Marvel is garbage. Everything from Lucasfilm is garbage. The only highlight we had was Mando, and season 3 showed that they had
Rogue One. It's got its defenders. I think it was a decent trip to the movie theater, but really, it's a one-time.
Which one? Wait a minute. Which one? What?
Rogue One.
Well, Rogue One's okay.
That's what I keep telling people. They're like, Rogue One was really great. And I'm like, no, calm down. Rogue One was okay.
It was okay.
Rogue One was okay. It did no harm. It was an enjoyable movie. That was okay. It's the only
Rogue
one
is a World War II movie.
It basically is.
It really is.
Little Vietnam movie
Solo,
too.
a Star Wars story, was just awful.
God!
Really, in a world where you have vehicles that fly and hover, you've got a train with a rail system. Yeah,
that
got to
was
do a train heist.
And Tandy Newton's another one. She has Henry Cavill disorder. She's in these great franchises in their worst movie, like Mission Impossible 2, and then she's in this. And she's there just to get fridged.
So it's Disney overseeing all of this. And originally, what was happening was Bob Iger would buy these things and he would give them all the rope in the world to either succeed or hang themselves. And it worked with Marvel all the way up until 2019. And then all of a sudden, between Lucasfilm and Marvel, they lost their collective minds, and that rope had no value anymore. There was no rope. It was just, they just kept going and going. And it's like, at some point you expect them to, hang themselves with the rope. You can only fail so far. But no, they kept going. They kept failing and failing and failing. And we just kept looking, going, they can't have that deep of pockets. They can't. Nobody has that deep of pockets.
I'd like to address E. Clay because his comment is like, it's on point. A lot of people did like Andor. I'll tell you.
That's Star Wars.
I'll give you my take on this one. You ready? If that had been a lone show or the first show, we'd really be in good shape because it had stuff going on. It was interesting. It was leading somewhere. But we know that it exists. Like, it's basically like, okay, it's one piece of sanity floating in this batshit crazy Disney Star Wars world. And it could just, like a bubble of insanity could burst nearby and destroy it tomorrow. Like, they could have some crazy idea with Andor. Like, let me ask you this. With Diego Luna already being 8 or 9 years older than the man who filmed that movie, why didn't they arrange for a story where he gets cloned so you can use Diego Luna and not be slave to having him only be in a prequel era? Is it going to be again a 60-year-old guy in a prequel? Because that's how creative Disney's not looking lately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Clone him.
Well, and Andor, as it was really well written, I got to be honest, but it's not Star Wars.
Is any show that slow?
It's so dark and heavy, and it went into things that I could give a high flying fuck about, like the relationships. It was a little bit too drama for me, but it was beautiful, well done, well choreographed, interesting characters, and I'm glad people liked it.
Right.
But once again, it's digging a nugget out of a giant turd. It's
But that one didn't have, per se, like that one didn't have, for instance, like the woman with all the answers pushing Andor around. He sort of, he didn't get a lot done. He sort of wandered from place to place, and from what I remember, it was better though for sure. But is slow and eventless the new quality? Because then if nothing happens, they can't get anything wrong, so no one can call them out. So it's like we're gonna get a show basically about people doing their taxes in space.
Yeah.
Like Andor,
I felt like it was not the show that was going to save Star Wars. It just didn't do anything. That's why we're not going to see any more of it.
That's kind of what I meant by if it was year one.
The thing is that first season was to show what finally pushes him into going into
the rebellion.
Let's see what this second season brings up. That
I think in the second
should be more action.
I don't know. Are we going to get a second season?
Yes, it's greenlit.
Okay.
I predict in season 2 we freeze Andy Serkis and they unfreeze him in the Mando era and inject him full of Grogu's Force DNA to try to make him into Snoke because he is Snoke,
and he just becomes Gollum.
Yeah, Snoke will be like Gollum for a while. Yeah, they have no ideas. They're out of ideas. They should read those Marvel comics from right after the movie came out.
Yeah, but there is no pre-existing intellectual properties that they can turn into entertainment.
No,
I think Disney made that clear.
If only there was a wealth of books or anything like that,
The one I liked of all of the previous stuff from the expanded universe was the Bounty Hunter stories. That and the original Han Solo trilogy
by Brian Daly.
Han Solo at Star's End, The Lost Legacy,
and The Lost Legacy, and
I love those books.
Han Solo's Revenge.
I think we are forgetting. There's one good show, The Bad Batch.
It started out good and it ended badly. And look, I cannot enjoy anything with Wanda Sykes in it.
Rebels ended too well.
Just cannot listen to her voice.
What do you call it? The Clone Wars ended too well for me to want to go on. Why would I want to go on from that great ending? And it was a George Lucas ending, so I'm like, forget it. I don't care about anything else after that. That was a good ending for that character. She died.
Well, it's a different set of characters. It's its own story. Look, I don't.
Yeah, but don't they siphon out of the Rebels Bad Batch 1? Yeah,
Bad Batch was a separate group, and so it's its own story. And there's an interesting mystery to it, and I like the fact that the little girl isn't a Mary Sue. She's a screw up. She messes stuff up, and she ends up feeling bad about it. But she's learning, so I kind of liked it. But I don't like Dave Filoni. And as far as I'm concerned, if Dave Filoni's involved with the creation of something now, fuck him. I'm not going to watch it anymore. I don't like him.
When that
anti-George Lucas.
When that story broke about like the kind of stuff his wife was into and all that weird stuff, and it almost seemed to fill in a gap that was missing in why do these like Star Wars characters seem so strange. I think it was maybe Valiant Renegade or someone said like, could she maybe have just listened to a lot of Dio? Like utter disbelief of the insanity of it. But it does seem like it's Dio songs were more intelligent than some of these.
He writes at a fourth grade level.
Dio, I agree.
Filoni writes at a fourth grade level, which is why when he was writing, like even with Jon Favreau, the episodes that he wrote are written so simplistically. It's really, it's banal. It's just. I'm just like, this is ridiculously dumb.
See, Dio also like he like brings the same stuff to bear, like Ronnie James Dio, the singer. And the thing is, like, he's a really great singer with an amazing voice, but when he writes his own songs, sometimes he can't really make the poem make sense. It'll still be a good song, but it might not hold up to analysis. And that's what a lot of these Star Wars songs feel like, even lesser versions of those. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you take Dio, you throw him in with Black Sabbath, you throw him in with some of the Deep Purple guys, and you've got some real great stuff. But sometimes on his own, Dio, little hit or miss. It's been less quality than that, and of about that much, knowledge. Because I don't think Dio like deeply studied any of that stuff, so it sounds kind of like corny. I don't know what to make of some of these stories he has come up with. The resurrection of Darth Maul was really dumb. I don't know if I ever became a believer in that.
Yeah. Well, look, I just I don't think that because I know our buddy Phoenix likes to joke that I said that Jon Favreau is the savior of Star Wars. I'm like, no, he's not. But he is somebody that was going to give us some good Star Wars. He could give us some good Star Wars. But the fact is, he got dethroned by Kennedy. She went out with a vengeance, starting with firing Gina Carano. And she basically wanted to cuck him. Jon Favreau was cucked by Kathleen Kennedy. And he made a deal with Filoni because Filoni is a duplicitous piece of shit. I've always felt that way. I mean, after he gave that speech at that feminist rally, I'm like, do not trust this guy.
That.
Don't trust him. That was back in 2016. Don't trust this guy. Gina, I guarantee you there's been conversations because Jon Favreau's friends with her, okay? So I know he's already talked to her and that if he is going to get any kind of authority back, the only way it's going to work is he brings her back. Because the fans I'm not coming back. I won't watch another Mandalorian without Gina Carano coming back because they drew a line in the sand when they fired her. And I'm not forgetting that line. I'm not going to ever forget that line in the sand was drawn when they fired her. That was a big fuck you to the fan base.
Not only firing her, but keeping Pascal for doing exactly the same, or even worse.
Yeah, ignoring what he did. Because what he did was worse. He lied. She shared something that was factually true. He used a photo that wasn't even from the country he was claiming it was from. It was from the Middle East. Fucking asshole. But anyway, Jon Favreau, although I enjoyed a few of Favreau's works, including the Orville pilot that he directed with no, he is a real good idea guy, and he advised Seth on a lot of things. Seth's problem is he got in his own way, and he screwed up the scripts for this last season of the Orville. There were all kinds of problems, and it was all because he demanded that he write all the scripts. And man, they were weak. Season 2 was the best season outside of that one episode. Even though I admit I laughed at that episode, the Bortus and the porn addiction episode, because it was funny. But the problem was, we lost Teague. The problem with it was that they took a C story and made it the A story, and took the A story and made it the C story. And you shouldn't do that. The main story should have been saving those people on that planet. That was the primary story. And they put the porn addiction as the main story. And that should have been the C story, the one that was like filtered in between stuff. It was ridiculous. But the rest of season 2 is really solid. It was really good writing. Season 3, he was doing stuff. When they had the away mission and he and his first officer go on the away mission together, I'm like, we're making mistakes that Star Trek made in the 60s because people didn't know better. But we know better now. But oh well. Hey, Cal's here. Got to stretch these old bones and gear up for work later. Hope you're having a good Friday, my friend. So in the end, if there's any salvaging of The Mandalorian with this proposed movie, it will be Favreau getting his legs back and Kennedy being relegated to not telling him what to do. So we'll see. I have very little faith anymore in anything because we've been in this topsy-turvy world since 2014, really. This world has been screwy over the last 10 years.
Hey, Shanatsky.
Hey, it is. What's up, buddy?
You know what is coming. There.
Fuck you, Shanatsky. So let's get into the Paramount thing, because I am this is very exciting because an offer's been made. Skydance made their offer, and this could be something huge.
Welcome back, Tig.
Basically, media
weird.
Cherry Redstone tried, and her intention was to fix Star Trek when she took over. And the problem was that as she was taking over, they fired Les Moonves. And Les Moonves, in his last fuck you move, got an ironclad contract for Alex Kurtzman. Hey, Reed, what's up? And in that contract, they made it impossible for Cherry Redstone and the network to fire, I almost said Chinatsky, Alex Kurtzman. And not without breaking the bank. But in the process of not firing him, they lost even more money. They would have just had to. All they had to do was yank the Band-Aid off.
The only way
there would have been damage. There would have been damage, financial damage from it, but it would have been over. But now they've bled for years on this thing.
Yeah.
And they've lost more than what they would have if they just pulled the Band-Aid off and fired him. And they've created an untenable situation with him. And I didn't like season 3 of Picard. I mean, it had some moments I enjoyed. The one character I liked, they killed. Of course.
I felt that there was heavy use of the Pander Stone, and no one's dead. If it's Ensign Rowe, they filmed an escape. If it's Commander Shelby, Metalis has said she's alive.
No, I'm not talking about Shelby. I'm talking about the dude that was the captain of the ship.
Liam Shaw.
Oh, well,
yeah,
you know what? The one thing I thought that actor was really good, but then in the last episode, they destroy that character because he has sent a letter before the beginning of the mission saying he is wrong to do what he continues to do to her for the rest of the mission. At the beginning of the mission, he sent out a letter saying she's the bestest ever, and that, to coin a term, and that he should make her a captain, even though she's only out of the academy for a year, because that's how great she is, and that he should never dead name her 7 of 9 again. He should call her Hanson because she's just the best. And for the rest of the story, he's like, listen, Hanson, or he should call her 7, whatever. He should never dead name her Hanson. And he does the things he says no one should do to her throughout the rest of his life. So to the moment he does, it doesn't make sense.
I've no argument. I'm just like, like I said, I had so many problems with the season. The pandering to Star Trek fans, they thought it was like great, and I'm like, it's really not. It's what I want is like the way it's written. I don't want the fucking member berries. Give me some good written Star Trek. And they didn't do that. You've got senior officers on the at the con talking shit about another crew member, and then talking shit to each other. And I'm like, that won't fucking ever happen. And it's that's something that's done in private, not on the fucking flight deck. I fucking had so many problems with the shit going on.
Every time there's a crisis on that
bantering, it's going back and forth. It's like it's bantering that wouldn't take place the way they're doing it.
Organic, childlike freaking fighting. Like when in the situations you're talking about, and Shaw was a good actor. That guy, what is it, Todd Stashwick?
He was good.
He's a good actor. He's also an engendering person on Twitter. He's not confrontational or uncool. He's one of the only new Trek people that I don't really find to be annoying. But he, like, his character, it makes no sense. And all that banter on the bridge, every time there's a threat, everyone starts ceding command to not be responsible for what's going to happen. It's not the Starfleet we knew, where they'd be like, step up and step into it and, turn into the skid kind of guys. These people were just like, no, I don't want to do it. I mean, they show like this elaborate change of command ceremony 3 times. But then when they get boarded by the founders, like 3 founders take over the whole ship and torture them all. But when they get boarded by the founders, she just sits down and takes over the ship. What happened to this elaborate command ceremony that we saw so that even another Federation dude could use it. Like, why would the ship ever work? None of it made sense.
Yeah. So anyway, it's sort of like, somebody says, well, what do you think of Strange New World? I said, I don't think of it at all. I don't think it's good. I had hopes for it. It's not. Kurtzman's in charge. It's not going to be good. You have a helmsman that can't seem to keep her eyes forward. She's constantly turning around to talk to the captain. And it's like, stop doing that.
And she's rolling her eyes whenever she gets an order.
Oh, she's so disrespectful. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I would have smoked her in the military. Somebody acting that way, I would have smoked them. Like, you're the fuck out of here. I'm going to find somebody else to do your job.
In social media, very normal, not like you would think at all. And seems to realize that she's caught up.
Oh, this isn't a thing about her. This is a thing about the character.
Yeah, no, the character that she's not even crazy about her own character. That woman's not out there stomping for Star Trek. She does the minimum. She kind of that person lost another show because the Star Trek production schedule is so insane. So there's a cause to say she's been hurt more than most people by Star Trek, but they also slave drove her back to work after her boyfriend died. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So I feel bad for her.
Anyway, the way this conversation started was I was talking about Paramount. Basically, Sherry Redstone, and I need to stay on track with this. So Sherry Redstone's intention was to try to undo Alex Kurtzman, but the contract that they were left with didn't allow her to, and she was basically just hobbled. And she couldn't seem to make anything work, and that's why everything has languished for years now. Keith and I were two people that really believed in Sherry Redstone because she was not happy with what her dad and what Les Moonves did with splitting up Star Trek. She wanted reunification. She wanted it all back in one deal, and she couldn't get it. And so now her option is that I just forgot his name. The guy, the head of Skydance, David Ellison. He made an offer, and I think they're going to be crazy if they don't take it. Because
like
this will
stock had $5 be even about. Wow.
The cool thing about new control is all old contracts are null and void.
Yeah.
Now they do have to honor payments, but that doesn't mean that contract is to be upheld. The fact is, I learned this the hard way with the corporation that I worked for. We got screwed out of our percentages with this company when the owner said he's going to go to the lawyer to figure out our percentages. When he came back, they had a whole new corporation and all agreements, contracts were null and void. And I was like, oh, shit.
What a tumultuous month. Just looking at the stock price for Paramount Group, it's at 504 right now. Yeah, it was down as low as $4.50. Oh my gosh. It's 3 months of Paramount Plus. I'm sorry, 3 shares of Paramount Plus is how much it costs to watch 1 month of Paramount Plus.
Yeah. Now I'm going to tell you, the purchase will be for National Amusements. That's the mother company. They own a bulk of Paramount CBS. So this is a good thing. And what does it mean for the future of Star Trek? It can mean a couple of things. It could mean that Alex Kurtzman's gone and they'll reboot. Or it could also mean that with them in charge, they could license out Star Trek. The problem is there is a contract in place right now with the right to make a film. And JJ has dipped his toes in there and kept doing the same press release over and over again for years. New Star Trek film on the horizon. And it was nothing new. The actors would go, well, nobody's talked to me. So if the actors haven't been talked to, then there's no movie. And right now, all those actors are into other contracts and doing other things. All of them are successful except for Zachary Quinto. I mean, it's not like he's not successful. It's just he is not like making a lot of money. Like
American Horror Story is pretty popular. He works regularly. We got to give him that.
He works regular, but he's not the star that Zoe Saldana and Chris Pine are. And
but he may arguably
I
made
just
more money.
I just don't know how they're going to wrangle that. And they're saying that they can make a film. And I'm not saying they won't make a new film. I'm just like,
Oh, they'll
that's an
throw
uphill
something
battle.
together and call it.
Plus,
Well,
on top of that, with Paramount, potentially up for the bid here with David making this offer to Sherry Redstone. This is huge, and it's a way of taking control of Paramount. So I see this as a potentially good thing for Star Trek, and it could finally put to end the money waste that they've been doing for years. Shows that hardly anybody's watching keep getting greenlit for new seasons. That's crazy. There was a period of time, Keith and I talked about this. There was a period of time Kathleen Kennedy wouldn't have lasted a year. They would have fired her. But this is a political company now. These are political companies, and they're all about the politics. And with the politics, they make it harder and harder to get rid of shitty people. I mean, you look at Robert Evans. I always bring this up as a great example. That guy was constantly under the threat of being fired, and he made some of the biggest movies of the 70s, going into the 80s. Oscar-winning films, The Godfather, Love Story. He was just an amazing producer and executive, at the studio, constantly trying to fire him. Nobody's trying to fire Kathleen Kennedy. Nobody. They might entertain the idea, but they're not really doing anything about it. They're just letting her keep going. And they're shelling out money hand over fist.
It doesn't add
there's
up.
an end to that money. There's an end to that money. And right now they're in trouble. Disney is in so much trouble. Lucasfilm has, when you buy a company for $4.5 billion, you expect to get out of the red one day and be in the black. They have not. They have never turned a profit since they bought Star Wars Lucasfilm. Not one dime.
What in the name of God happened? I've heard people make implications all over the place about how Kathleen Kennedy got this kind of power. Something's wrong. For somebody to
Well,
be
they say she knows where all
this-
that she's like Epstein. She knows where all the skeletons are. But I'm like, if that's true, they would just have her accidentally.
Yeah, imagine if somebody could fix the Super Bowl and did it 5 years in a row. By year 6, like somebody's going to take this wild card out of America's economy one way or another. Be it it just doesn't. I don't understand that. It's got to be. I guess they intend to lose the money. It's a core corporate philosophy, and I'm not saying anybody should harm anybody or violence or like a missile's the solution. I'm just saying it's like, how can you defend this as a capitalistic idea? This is now 10 years. Have they made anything? I mean, Rogue One gave them a modest return. During the pandemic, Disney Plus gave them a modest return. I don't know that they've gotten their big money payday. What's happened to keep them in? That's kept them in business. They've missed one layup after another.
Gentlemen,
Well, the stockholders are saying things. The problem is you've got Bob Iger and a board that he built. These are people that are loyal to Bob Iger. So it's bad. These people aren't loyal to the company. They're loyal to Bob Iger. And the company's losing money.
I think Tryon Corporation and its head, what's his name, Nelson Peltz, he was being extremely serious about being given a seat on that board, and he wasn't being quiet about it, and he was countering all points very well. Like they said, you've never made a movie before. Why do you think you could make a movie? And he goes, Oh, I've never made a movie before. Let me ask you something. Where has no one had a movie, no one how to make movies gotten that? And it was a valid response. It was like, the last 5 movies they made have lost historic amounts of money. How could I do worse? Valid. And then he mentioned that he would hire someone to make the movie and not try to do it himself. He's like, I never said would want to do it. But, it comes to a point where you have to say, when does it become a capitalistic endeavor from top to bottom? And what's your motivation for messing up so bad?
Well, it's always been the motivation to make money, put out quality entertainment, make money off of it, because people go to see it. Let's see. So I saw something about Percy Jackson. I've only seen the first episode of this new series, and it was pretty good.
We need to do our promo. No,
Go ahead.
don't feel like it.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I hope.
Meet the Seattle Vigilante. Like so many comic heroes, this warrior hides his identity. But his identity isn't the only secret he has to keep. After grievous wounds received during combat, Tier 1 operator John Russell begins to recover and comes to terms with his new reality of being an amputee. And as he learns how to use his new prosthetic limb, he finds himself caught up in the bureaucratic red tape that too many wounded veterans experience, the exhausting medboard process. Out of sheer frustration, John takes it out on the criminal scum of the city. But when reality kicks in, John realizes he started something that's having an impact on the greater world around him, and thus has to reevaluate his motives. And moreover, just how far is John willing to go to finish this war he's declared against the criminals in Seattle? And will he even survive? From the creator of IDW's award-winning graphic novel Code Word Geronimo comes a new story about a different kind of warrior, Vindicated Inc., the first of its kind disabled veteran action hero comic. The Vindicated Inc. graphic novel crowdfunding campaign on fundmycomic.com is provided in the description of this video. We hope you become a contributor. Please share this link. Thank you.
So, Ellison made his offer, but so far, Ellison nor Paramount have responded to any requests for comments on what's been happening with this offer. I think that this is going to be exciting because Paramount has always been one of my favorite studios. It and Universal are my two favorite studios. Paramount for so many great films to, Warner put out Blade Runner, but I got to be honest, I have more favorite films from Paramount and Universal than from Warner Brothers. But Warner's a good studio, don't get me wrong. But I have no faith in what's going on. I trusted David Zaslav until he put Saffron and Gunn in charge. And I'm like,
Gunn seemed like a good hire at first, too. It's only the last, I'd say.
I don't trust Gunn. He's your typical irreverent person. And I don't like irreverent people in charge of comic titles in comic movies. He's not as bad as Taika Waititi, but he's still in the same ballpark. And
you might be right. I do like his Suicide Squad better.
I did not.
I thought it was fun. Like it. Story was fun. I don't know.
I had so many problems with what he did. IDW is also a comic book publishing home. For now, they've lost some of their contracts. I mean, these people are making bad mistakes in their decisions. Paramount is a smaller studio than the others, but they've made some great leaps and bounds. I mean, like it was brought up earlier, The Godfather, just some great classic cinema. And my hope is that with Star Trek in the balance, I hope that this deal is struck and can somehow move Star Trek forward and get it away from Alex Kurtzman and J.J. Abrams.
It's a darn shame, man, especially when you find that Kurtzman.
You say that, Ariel, and my response to that is David Zaslav shit on Clint Eastwood a year ago. And so this is a guy who's brought some Oscars to Warner Brothers, and Zaslav's general attitude is like, well, what has he done for us lately? And that kind of bugged me a little bit that he did that.
He's Clint. Isn't that enough?
No, apparently not with Zaslav. And I like Zaslav, but goddamn, man.
It's Clint.
He's like that. He's like a quarterback that comes into the game and is just fucking nailing it, and then gets into the third quarter and just starts just fucking the game up. They're not moving forward anymore. That's how it feels. Hey, Zax is here. What's up, buddy?
Hi, Zax.
I'm ready.
Hey, fuck you, Kyle.
So, speaking of Paramount, let's move on to the next subject, which is, of course, Indiana Jones. Holy shit, man. Indiana Jones, man.
Nominated for an
Got
Academy Award.
knocked on the chin with that latest movie, and then they put this game out, and I looked at it. It was like I was watching the trailer. I was really impressed with this guy that can do Harrison Ford's voice. Nails it, and I kind of liked some of the humor in it. And then all of a sudden they get to the name, The Great Circle, and I'm like, that's a really weak ass name. That's a weak name. And then you find out who the runner is of this game, the guy in charge, the game runner, whatever you would call him, is a checkbox person. Clearly, when you see their photo, checkbox person. And I'm like, it's a diversity hire. And it's like, oh my God.
That's too bad.
It's just...
Yes, because the game looks beautiful. The mechanics are awesome. And then you have the message.
I feel so
What
bad
is
for
the
my
message?
friends who do game reviews. They have to put up with the anger towards the game creators as though they made it themselves. You know, they should stop burning the people who review the games and just, how about people start subverting our expectations by meeting our expectations? That'd be shocking. Right? What did you think of that Star Wars movie? It was a Star Wars movie for sure, right? Imagine if that was the first thing someone said coming out of one of those movies. No one said that.
I've become overly cynical with all of this. I lost all hope for comic movies when Safran and Gunn got hired. I gave up. I didn't want to talk anymore about this shit. Sorry, I'm peeing right now.
But Feige didn't give you any sense of urgency, so to speak.
I can't leave the show. I got to pee while we're here.
Just has a small bucket in front of him, ladies and gentlemen. He does it all for us.
I wear one of those external catheters. You just put it on like a condom.
Do you remember like 10 years ago, the love triangle at NASA, and the one astronaut went to go snuff another astronaut's
and she wore a diaper. Yeah.
So that she could drive there.
He turned it into a movie, dude. They turned it into a movie. And she's not the bad guy in the movie. And when I saw the trailer for that, I'm like, I'm not fucking watching this movie. I am tired of these gray area people. I'm sick of them.
I was not watching the movie in the first place, but that's just funny. That was a funny story.
Yeah. IDW did not fold, but they've lost contracts and they are in financial trouble. They are in financial trouble, period. I've always said this. The problem I found when I worked for IDW is that the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. And that was eventually going to cause problems. They put a guy in charge of G.I. Joe who was basically a card-carrying commie. And it's the military. So, gosh, imagine them losing that contract.
I mean,
Sullivan is no longer an executive producer for Power Rangers Universe. I thought he was a Thierry Vitalis type than Alex Kurtzman type. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to all of that. I just heard about it from other people. But they went to Disney, though, right?
I think
didn't Power Rangers go to Disney?
Donnie will chime in. Donnie, let us know in the chat. He's a Power Rangers lore expert there.
Yeah, I know. I used to watch the previous iteration with my kids. So Ekley Thomason is here. Vinkman's girl is here. Who else has popped in? Penny is here, of course. I did say, but I don't know if you heard me say it. Ariel Ballette, good afternoon. I hope you're having a good Friday.
Hi,
so remember back when, they took down the water tower because they didn't have the money to keep it up. And Eastwood said that he would have paid to have had it fixed. And I remember that. Yeah, absolutely. Look, Eastwood's a good dude. I like Eastwood. He was going to retire, but he's still wanting to make movies. Oh, look, leftism is a religion. Do not kid yourself.
Hey,
these people are religious zealots on the left.
Hey,
I'm not talking about liberals. I'm not talking about Democrats. I'm talking about leftists. Backdoor Gerry. Hey, what's up, Parrot Head? You get no video for that, dude, but thank you. You got to be a little more creative. Netflix has learned its lesson too, Venkman's Girl. Now, I say this, Hollywood never really learns a lesson. What they learn is that didn't work. We're losing money. People are angry at us, so let's try to do something that'll make money so we can continue doing stupid shit. Because they will continue doing stupid shit. Do you see the removal of that show about the little girls? Still on there.
Is that show still around? Wow. That's shocking.
Yeah, that is the lamest breach ever, dude. Keith's not here. He's having to deal with a family crisis, sadly. I really need him for shows like this because he's my fact guy. He's the guy that does all the digging.
We're going to be pop culture archivists soon. I'm looking at the 2024 Oscar nominated films, and I'm like, I've heard of like a third of them. Killers of the Flower Moon? What is that?
That is just way too long a film. I watched it.
Sounds very important.
It's very accurate to what happened. I was very impressed with how close to the facts he stuck with that movie, because he doesn't make the what's his name, Leo's character, a good guy. He's not a good guy, but he doesn't make him a total bad guy because he did some really good things in the end, and he stood against his own family. And but the thing is he tried poisoning his damn wife.
Damn.
From orders from his, uncle. And he really did. And she was asked later, and she says, I know he loves me, and he regrets what he did. But she left his ass because you can't trust somebody like that.
Yeah. No shit.
No, I think I would probably want to like be very far away from them and not eat anything that they've been around. Never accept a gift of candy from that person.
It's Lauren, if you've got 3 hours, now if you watch it at home, you can fucking pause it in the middle. This is what pissed me off with this movie. How dare you make a 3-hour fucking movie to go in a theater and not put an intermission? Because a lot of people got to fucking pee.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's thoughtless.
Ridiculous. You know what? They're even extra mean. In the middle of the movie was a scene where they all talked about the ocean for a while. You heard the water breaking on the shore, and it's like, oh God, just like
I'm peeing myself. Gang of New York. I like that film, but it was real long in the tooth. I love the fact that they used some Peter Gabriel music. Martin Scorsese is a big Peter Gabriel fan. He worked with Peter Gabriel directly to do the soundtrack of The Last Temptation. It's an amazing soundtrack. I have problems with the film. My problems with the film is very simply Judas of Iscariot, played by Harvey Keitel, with a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Hey.
What's wrong with you? Why are you doing these things, Jesus? You're killing me.
It's right up front, though. If you can get past that, it's a decent movie, but I hear what you're saying 100%. It's like Last Exit to Jerusalem.
It's just so real. If you watch the film, you go, this is some good acting. This is really well done for a low-budget independent film. But my God, the accents are ridiculous. They didn't even try to hide the accents.
And there's no Judas, but Ian McShane. Ian McShane will always be Judas.
Yeah, Ian McShane played the best Judas. I agree.
Yes. Oh, and we all had to watch that in Catholic school,
Yeah. Now, they brought up Barbara Hershey. She was the driving force because she plays Mary of Magdalene or Magdala. And
yeah, she was hot in that. And dirty, but
she's
hot.
batshit crazy though in real life. She's fucking nuts. And she was a driving force for the making of that film. What?
Is she related to the Pennsylvania Hersheys?
I don't know.
Who own the chocolate factory?
No clue. She's fucking weird. Go watch. There's a bio about her and some of the crazy shit she's done in her life. She went on Dick Cavett live and without warning started breastfeeding her daughter on live TV back in the 70s. She was out of her fucking mind.
What did Dick say?
I think you can find it on YouTube. Just go watch it. He was trying to like figure out how to get past this moment, not knowing exactly what to do. He was flummoxed by the situation. She just pulls her tit right out and just starts feeding her baby. Live TV. She was an activist, but she was also crazy.
It's a good thing she didn't do that on Oprah, huh?
I mean, you go and fucking look back at her record all the way back to Boxcar Bertha. You know, she's fucking out of her mind, Barbara Hershey.
I've seen a couple of movies with her that were really
she's gorgeous,
weird.
But she's insane. She's part of that beautiful to crazy ratio.
She does look a little unstable in the eyes. Which adds to her role. She plays like in this one movie, she plays like an axe murderess, and like she confesses on the stand. She's like all screamy and insane, and that movie's a classic too. It's like you can't.
I don't remember that one. I just remember like the biggest thing I remember her was the movie The Entity, about that incident with the poltergeist. And it's a Fury film. I forget Stephen Fury or whatever his name is. And oh my God, that guy's such an asshole. Oh my God, I fucking hate that guy. And Sidney Fury, that's it. Sidney Fury, what a douche. God, he's one of those people that I'd like to do like Stewie with the ladder going after Will Ferrell. It's not funny, Will. You remember that one where he buys a ladder and goes and rings the doorbell, climbs up the ladder and waits for Will Ferrell to open the door. Will Ferrell opens the door and then he hits him. It wasn't funny, Will. The line he did in the Bewitched movie. Yeah, just me. Okay. Fuck you guys. The Entity drives her crazy. Well, she was already crazy, Monkey. She was already crazy. And that's why she's so good at playing crazy.
I did not see Bewitched, but they filmed some of it in sound stages near me in Queens. I was walking down the street.
It was such a dumb movie.
I saw this old lady who looked really, really, really super bizarre and just like aged beyond her years. Like she looked into the arc old. And 2 strides later, I realized it was Bette Midler just walking down the street in Queens, going to get like a Diet Pepsi or something.
Like that's gonna help her.
I was walking down.
Yeah, I'd like the fully loaded Philly sandwich. Oh, give me a Diet Pepsi.
Yeah, there was no saving it. I thought for a minute like it was like maybe Mick Jagger. I was like, "What the hell? What the hell is that?" And then like a minute later, I was like, "Wait, that was."
I keep asking her, by the way, Monkey, and eventually she's going to say yes. I'll have her back on. She's just always busy.
Yeah, she'll be back.
No, Sean Young.
Oh.
That's what he's saying there. Yoinks is who he's saying, Sean Young.
I'm inviting Bette Midler on my show. Bette, tell your side of the story. What did you get at the deli that day?
So going back to Indiana Jones, I think this guy that's doing the voice of Harrison Ford, spot on. Spot on. Seriously, he really sounds like Ford. It's ridiculous. And he's got the mannerisms down. And he's actually acting. He's not just doing the voice, he's acting. And I'm like, wow, they got somebody. And then you get this guy that clearly isn't the right person for the fucking job running this show or for this game. So I don't know what to think of this. I'll probably try the game out, rent it. I'm not going to fucking buy it unless it's any good. But I got to tell you, I hate the name. The Great Circle. What a dumb name.
Makes no sense. It's too vague.
Troy Baker, is that his name? Yeah.
Yes.
He's very good. I mean, my God, his Harrison Ford is so spot on. I would have sworn it was Harrison Ford. Because like the best impression of Ford I've ever heard was the kid who played the young Harrison Ford in that one film where the girl doesn't age. Age of Adeline. That movie. That kid can do a good Harrison Ford, but Mark Hamill does the best Harrison Ford impression.
Yes, I've heard him do that.
But this guy, Troy Baker, wins. He gets the cake. He nailed it. I think it's fantastic. But
Mark can only do Harrison Ford's voice now. I've only heard him doing Harrison now.
No, I've heard him when he did it before, and
has?
it was pretty good. It was spot on. Because he's told
got him
that story
nailed
for
now, yeah.
years. He's told that story for years about, shouldn't my hair be wet? He's a kid. If the people watching this film are looking at your hair, this isn't that kind of film. So
Harrison Ford was born old and grumpy. He's Benjamin Button.
yeah, I've never interacted with him. We lived in San Fernando when I was a kid for a very brief period of time. And we lived about 4 houses down from Ford and about 6 houses down from Margot Kidder. And that was a weird experience. It was a weird experience. And I just remember Ford's wife, yelling at us. And Ford, when I saw him, he had a big, thick beard, long hair. He was a hippie looking dude. I just thought he was a hippie, and he's working on what do you call it? It's not a guest house, but it's something behind the house.
Gazebo?
Like storage thing.
Oh, okay.
Workshop. That's the word I was looking for. Workshop. He was building a workshop. And when I think back on it, the only memory I have of him is on a roof. I don't think I ever saw him standing on the ground.
This is the real title of the game.
And the DEI circle jerk. There you go, Reed. That's a spot on one. What I remember, though, is that I was playing with his kids, and we were in the lawn with their sprinkler system, and his mother yelled at us to stop playing in the sprinklers because we were doing damage to the lawn. That's all I really remember of that. I've got Mark Hamill to do his voice. I'm not going to argue there. His impression of Ford is pretty tight.
Hey, Gap. You know, I finally sat down and watched from the beginning to the end because I didn't see it in theaters. From the beginning to the end, the movie The Fugitive.
Tommy Lee Jones, Harrison Ford.
The parts with Tommy Lee Jones are actually annoying.
What?
The movie's like so unrealistic on a law enforcement level, and their banter, it's so I was kind of laughing the whole time. I did think his performance was pretty good though. Like Tommy Lee Jones was pretty good. He was believable as a person who was like that. It was his crew around him that I couldn't buy. They were hinky.
Oh, and you used a line from the film. Look at you.
Yeah.
I lived next to Gary's back door, never got yelled at, just was invited into the back door. No autograph either.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
There you go. So we're into the last portion of the show. I don't know. I don't know what to think of this Indiana Jones situation. It's just, why do they keep hobbling themselves?
It comes hot in the heels of a Laura Croft ugly makeover and physical makeover. The new Laura Croft is like mean looking in the face.
Is this a game?
It's the Tomb Raider character.
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
Is it from the game? Is this a new game?
Yes.
There is a new game. I don't know if it's out yet, but if you Google new Laura Croft, you'll see it's ridiculous what the face looks like before and after. The body's one thing, and I'm not happy about that either. But the face was spiteful to make her face look like it does now. It's the only way to put it.
She's fugly.
She's actually fugly. Yeah, she's fugly.
Well, that's it. They want to take every female and they want to defeminize them. They want to make them as unappealing as possible. You cannot be appealing as a woman. You look at just this week, the woke left lost their collective minds because of that video of Taylor Swift showing her ass during a concert. They're freaking out over her. It's like,
did it turn out to be fake? God. She was talking about leak. Did it also turn out to be fake? She's suing some people as of today.
I don't know.
Or trying to.
It could be fake video. Either way it goes. That's what they were up in arms about this week. And I'm just like, you guys are fucking idiots.
Not even have been real.
They give a shit about. I will point it out because somebody brought it up in the chat earlier. And I want to announce that, yes, America's Most Wanted has returned with John Walsh.
And John Walsh's son.
That's right, his surviving
Right? Yeah.
son. Because, you know, the whole thing got started
that.
because of Adam being killed. That's what started this whole thing. And I think it's wonderful that his son Callahan has stepped up to the plate with him to do this show.
I thought it was Sean, but maybe it is Callahan.
No, it's Callahan.
I'll say this: there is a need for a show like America's Most Wanted to throw the light on. Like, there should never be a guy who's eluded justice for 3 decades, living somewhere, like, you know, just like kind of mocking the victims. It shouldn't happen.
Well, the problem is right now, though, is you've got a lot of district attorneys and prosecuting attorneys out there who are political creatures that are letting these people fucking out. And we need to go after the judicial system and fix it. The DOJ, all of it. We've got to start firing these fucking political creatures that are in there. And it's like, if you are not about justice, I don't care what your political persuasion is. If you're not about justice, real justice, get the fuck away from the job. Fire these people. And Walsh, it seemed, was away for a long time. He did another show. And, you know, it seemed really weird, his disconnect from, you know, the ongoing America's Most Wanted. How can you have America's Most Wanted without him? And we need that show. But the problem is, you catch these guys, what's the guarantee anymore that these people are going to see a goddamn day in court or in prison for what they did? There's no guarantee, especially in these blue states where George Soros paid prosecutors and district attorneys are fucking turning these people loose. It's just fucking unbelievable. But I'm glad he's back, and I'm glad his son is with him to do this. I didn't see anything about that. I only saw the video of her dancing and singing.
No. The whole thing is, somebody make what obviously, very obviously, is AI art,
generated fake nudes.
Okay. Yeah. So
yeah,
it's not.
Right?
It isn't even a deep fake. It's AI generated art.
It's a cheap fake. It's a cheap fake.
No, not even that.
Easily detectable.
And
I saw it on Twitter, Zax, earlier. I don't know if I can find it again.
She's trying to sue somebody. She's not too happy about it, but you know what? She has a lawyer on retainer. She should announce stuff like that if she's defamed. Good for her.
I'm looking to see if I shared it.
She's not my favorite person in the world, but she's behaved better than some celebrities. So why not?
Well,
I'm no fan of hers at all. But I think she's kind of a douche. But, you know, good on her.
If she had dated Zach Wilson, the Jets would have made the Super Bowl.
Here we go. This cracked me up earlier, and I had to share it.
Oh my God, what are we going to see now?
I thought this was funny, man. The relief you feel when you realize, I don't know why they don't know how to spell realize. The weird house noises are ghosts and not shit you can't afford to fix.
That's funny.
I read that and it just made me giggle. Although, you know, I'm an editor, you know, so I see that, like, fuck, realize. Come on, man. Oh, that was funny. The first season of the Fox revival of America's Most Wanted was hosted by Elizabeth Vargas with John Walsh's full endorsement. Of course, you know, he still made money off of it, so he's not going to talk shit off of him. You know, but I think he would have preferred to be there because what did he do? He went right over and started doing another show that was very similar. And because he wants to be directly involved. Is that the British spelling? Fucking lying.
Yes, it is.
Andy Morrow and your fucking not inability to fucking spell aluminum or realize.
No, it's Eagle and Anima.
Fuck you, Andy. I know you're watching.
I don't know. We speak American.
Aluminium.
We speak American.
We speak American. I speak American.
We've been speaking American since 1775 here in this country.
Limey
on that
pricks.
fine April morning when we overthrew our oppressors and sent them back into the sea.
Well, you know, the best version of that line was said by Quigley and Quigley Down Under. The Misfits comment. We sent the Misfits back to England. Well, we Americans and Britons share the same three colors of our respective national flags. It's true. We share a lot more than that.
Yeah. Two peoples divided by a common language, they said, right?
Yep. As George Washington always referred to them as our first cousins.
Oh, Lauren, you have a mean streak.
She's in pain today, so she's have to say anything. Excuse me.
Sorry, I hope you feel better.
She's had tough, man. It's like as much as pain as I'm in, I think her pain is like close to about 10% to 20% higher than mine. And because I'm always in chronic pain, always having pain. And it's, it's either in my neck or my back, or it's in my hips. Because I have the sciatica. I got the bilateral sciatica.
Check your Twitter, boss.
Oh, I don't want to open it right now. Oh, is it my personal? Because I'll go look at my personal.
Well, he didn't say.
Parrothead sent a photo. Keep calm and crush your enemies. See them driven before you hear the lamentation of their women. Yeah. Instead of keep calm, keep calm.
Yes.
I like that one. Man's cock wins first prize. Oh my God. It's culture. I got to share this one. I love it. When there was a period of time, man, when Sherry was sitting, she was competing with Parrothead on comedy, and she would tear me up. And then she got quiet, and we just don't see much from her anymore. Here we go. There it is.
Hey, it's not an obscene word, is it now?
You want to This is a shitty sentence.
Oh my God.
Let's see. What is this one? It's too small. I can't see it. I don't know. I see he's got a mag. Is that a mag light? No. He's holding a pistol by the barrel.
Yes.
Oh my fucking God.
He did on himself.
How do I get into this email chain?
It stares in pure hate. Oh my God. I love some of the shit he sends me, man. Him and Andy. Andy sends me some funny shit too. Andy Morrow. He sent something. I don't know if I can even share some of the stuff that he sends me. It's like fucked up, man. It's fucked up. In fact, I got a new one from him just now. It's like a vampire being forced to hold a cross.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I got to share this. I got to share it. Yeah, this is great.
I saw it earlier today.
Yep, I got to share it. This is funny. It's like a vampire being forced to hold a cross. Can you share it for me?
Yes.
Real quick?
Yes. Even the expression.
The expression and everything is perfect.
She looks like she looked into the ark, doesn't she?
That's crazy. Carrie's she's over there modding Mead right now?
Yeah.
Oh, good. It's good to see her. I got happy when I started seeing her again. She disappeared for a little bit. Oh my God, my eyes are so bad. I thought it said Donkey Jeebus. It's the @ symbol makes the M when I'm not looking directly at it, it makes it look like a D, and then I look down and went, oh, that's an M. She's making two. Oh, is that what she's doing? She's trying to. She's busy making memes, trying to keep up with you. Okay. Oh my God. So tomorrow we're going to be doing what movie?
King Kong, 1933.
Oh yes, that's right. I'm kind of stoked about that. That was Tom's idea. Tom's like, let's do King Kong, and I'm like, you don't mind, do you? I'm like, fuck no, man. I love King Kong, and so Anima got to watch it with me, and he found the same thing because I feel that Peter Jackson did a better job.
Shot by shot, but it's almost a shot by shot.
but it's better because there is no emotional attachment between Kong and at all. He's horrified of him, and he's doing what he's doing. And of course, this is our thumbnail for tomorrow. Oh my! Oh my!
Oh, you should put Zulu's face on that. Say, oh my!
Oh my! But would they know that it's Fay Ray? You know, I don't know.
Yes.
So
she was so beautiful.
She really was, but she couldn't act worth a shit. And that's part of the problem is the acting is so terrible in King Kong.
Well, she just
it's no well because we have movies from the same period where there's great acting.
No, what I was going to say is she mostly screams and faints.
Yeah. She can scream and she screams great. That scream got licensed out how many times? That made more money than the movie eventually, I'm sure, or as much. That scream made a tidy sum. It's in so many sound effect reels.
Oh, and I do have to tell you, when it comes to who said that, Lauren Worth said, I think Nancy Pelosi made a pact with Satan. Actually, I think there's a painting somewhere withering away. Much worse than her. Or it's a beautiful painting and she's the one that's aging. I watched a Jeff Bridges one with
Constant Snake.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I enjoyed little things that are in there, but I think one of my favorite jokes were, don't worry, everybody. That's New York steel. The chains. He actually says that in the movie. Don't worry, those chains are made of New York steel. It's like everybody's like, wait, New York steel is shit.
I bet you used to be some good stuff because upstate New York is the aluminum capital of all of America, really. By the falls there, unlimited hydroelectric power. It's possible.
Aluminum.
I don't know. Like, think about it. Like, that guy's writing a script in 1928 and 29 for a movie that comes out in like 33. He was definitely, this is just a different world.
I will say this, that my biggest problem with Peter Jackson's film was I felt Jack Black was weak.
Yeah, I agree.
But Ann Darrow, my God, her performance, Heath Ledger's ex, I can never remember her name. I just remember she's his ex. And my God, she was so good in that role.
Dude, that was Naomi Watts.
Yeah, Naomi Watts.
She was good.
I think
Adrian Brody isn't.
Adrian Brody is good in it, but he's cast against character. It's so weird, his casting. But he's still really good in the film. Everybody did a fantastic job in the film.
Tom Hanks is
Jack Black
is cool in it.
Kind of weak as that character. But
it's a tough character to play because it's so important to the movie. Yet
because he delivers the final line of the film.
And also, he drives the only reason to go there. In the original movie, it's like, we're going to this island. See, we know there's a gorilla there. See,
well, he's an animal filmmaker. He's an animal filmmaker. Him and his partner are filmmakers that make films about animals. And so we hear about this animal, and it's really nothing's very clear on a lot of it. Including and how we end up in certain situations is not totally clear. I really feel that the original 33 film had some weak elements in it. And one of the weakest things is they knew what gorillas look like, and yet King Kong looks like a cartoonish gorilla, not like a real gorilla. And of course, he got showed up later when they made Mighty Joe Young,
right?
Because his heir apparent, Ray, the great animator,
and our buddy Harryhausen.
Just fucking nailed the gorilla.
We've got the Jack Black character is the only one who transcends those movies, isn't he?
Wait, do what?
Isn't Carl Denham also in Mighty Joe Young? Right?
Yes.
Or is he just? Yeah. So yeah, he connects those two movies. They exist in a shared world.
Kings, I've been waiting to see Poor Things. I don't know if it's already.
I don't see a Sherry's meme in the group.
American Fiction. So that is a misspelling. I'm looking at the Oscar nominations, and one song's called American Fiction, and I'm like, Did they take the second letter out of each word and the name is actually American Friction? Like, is something going on there? But it's okay, so that's a misspelling. It's nominated for 5 Academy Awards. I haven't heard of half these movies. Napoleon, that I've heard of. 3 award nominated for 3. Mission Impossible for 2. Society of the Snow, never heard of it.
Yeah, these are all titles except for the Mission Impossible one that I just don't care about. So I'm going into. I'm trying to find this because he said, "Oh, it's in this group." Okay, I found it. What is this? Me trying to solve other people's problems, knowing I'm totally unqualified. Oh my fucking god, that's dark. That is so fucking dark. Sherry made that one. Oh my god.
Show it.
Oh man, I don't know. Okay. Okay. I'll show it. All right. There you go. Don't get mad at me. There you go.
Whoops. Oh god damn. Oh.
And this is the one from Parrothead. Keep calm and crush your enemies. See them driven before you and hear the lamentations of women.
Oh, I do know something about that one.
Oh, Society of Snow is about that crash in the Andes.
Yeah, the Uruguayan
soccer
football team. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if I can watch that. I fucked up, dude. When the movie Alive came out,
yeah,
I was still in the Army. I had to take a flight. Yeah, don't watch that movie before you take a flight.
Well,
No.
at least it wasn't the flight movie.
I made the same mistake back in 77. Airport 77 came out right before my dad and I flew to Europe. I was on that flight. I couldn't sleep. I was terrified the whole flight. But what did happen during the flight that was really cool is the movie Domino Principle with Gene Hackman was the in-flight movie I got to watch. And I love that movie. Gary's too evil to go to hell. He'll end up someplace darker, like hell's hell. You mean there's another level of hell? Oh, man, there are so many. Gary's Marge Simpson. No. I love how the thumb is on the wrong side of the hand. Yeah, right? It's on the downside. Are you a doctor? No.
But I have a Sharpie.
That's so creepy. That is so creepy. Let's see. What other ones are here? Starting a reverse OnlyFans. Gonna send random people pics of my balls and gooch until they pay me $15.99 to stop.
The what?
Hold on, I'll share it. This is funny. Jesus Christ, this is evil.
Dude, you have to say this in action.
Yeah, Hells and Demons. That's right, from Big Trouble in Little China. Starting a reverse OnlyFans, gonna send random people pics of my balls and gooch until they pay me $15.99 a month to stop.
It's a viable business plan.
But recruit kicked out of the Navy for ejaculating on friend's pillow. He was dishonorably discharged for discharging dishonorably.
It was all very tiresome. He was nothing but a spent seaman after the procedure.
I told you I was in basic training, man. They were doing construction on the other barracks, so there was no door between us and the other company. It was just this plastic curtain. And at 0 dark 30, man, all of a sudden there's this loud ruckus going on. And it woke us all up, and we're all out in the hallway peeking our heads out like, what the fuck's going on? And you could hear drill instructors yelling and people like being punished. It was great. And they had them out in the darkness out in front of the barracks doing grass drills. It was like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, man. It all got started because one dude climbed up on top of his buddy's bunk, his battle buddy's bunk, stood up over top of him and pissed in his face while he was asleep. Crazy shit.
Okay,
It was like a
Anima,
riot.
Anima is mad that you or any of us can tell the exact movie. I remember the line, but man, my memory is.
Yeah, I don't like people who talk during movies.
No, but this is from a movie. This is a line from a movie.
Sounds
Not-
like something Gerry would do.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
went on a
Pillow. The
I went
pillow.
on a blind date with a woman
Oh.
to go see one of the Mummy films, and oh my gosh, she started talking during the movie, and I'm just like, I'm not with her. It's just like, it's so not cool. But that's it. We've reached the 5 o'clock. It's done. Show's over. Or as Brian would say, well, we're in the wrong theater, so I got to go to the main show. There we go. And now I can do Brian.
That's it. Show's over.
So we're going to get out of here. I hope everything's okay with Keith. We worry about him. So I guess we'll find out. I'll call him in a little bit, see how things are going. But anyway, you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you tomorrow with Tom and Gerry. We'll be doing King Kong 1933. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. Animal will be there. And anybody who wants to join us is welcome to join us. So, but we are out of here. Teague, what are you doing before we go?
I'm on in a little while. I'll be going on for a couple hours before Doomcock. I'll drop the link in the chat.
And you're not Doomcock, right?
No, I am not Doomcock. What Doomcock would have to work for like 7 hours if he was really me, because I'm on for like 2 hours before him. Or like it would be like a 9-hour show. I don't think a human could do it.
I don't know.
No,
I just
am
know
not
that
Doomcock.
I have never seen you two in the same room at the same time.
Never happened. So
We've been in the same place at the same time. There's audio evidence.
Audio? Nah, that is not
There's
evidence.
audio evidence. I was on Pop
I
Culture
don't
Breakdown.
trust that stuff. You can fake it.
What?
You can do AI. But we are
Just
out of here,
because
guys.
you
I'm
have
going to play
talent
the
to do it doesn't mean it
outro now.
really
So
happens.
stop talking.
I-
We're done. All right, bye, guys.